All right, guys, the moment you have all been waiting for. Lesson 87, multiplying two-digit numbers. This is an important skill that is going to come up again and again. So from this point forward, you're going to want to try and become a master at multiplying two-digit numbers. And if you're wondering what that looks like, that means we're about to learn how to solve equations like this. No zeros, no multiples of 10, just two-digit numbers. Let's get started. Here is the first method for multiplying two-digit numbers together. I'm going to use the same example from the last screen, which was 34 times 12. Here is the first thing that you can do. The first thing we're going to do is look at 2 and 34. It is most simple if you solve these problems when they're set up on top of one another rather than side by side. So the first thing we're going to do is multiply together 34 and 2. Now you might know right away that that is 68, or you could go in order. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. Now the second thing that we're going to do is we are going to multiply 1 times 34. Now 1 times 34 is 34. However, since we are multiplying this 1 together, it's not actually a 1. It's not in the ones place, it's in the tens place. So it's not it's not 34, it is 340. You will always end up with a 0 in this spot when you multiply two-digit numbers. At this point, you add them together. 8 plus 0 is 8. 6 plus 4 is 10. Carry the 1. Your answer is 408. Okay, method number 2 is very similar to method number 1, except instead of writing a 0, we just leave the spot blank. I'm going to show you what that means. So first, we will start by multiplying from our ones place. 2 times 4, which is 8. 2 times 3 is 6. Then we will multiply in our tens place. 1 times 4 is 4. And 1 times 3 is 3. Now instead of including a 0 right here, I'm just going to leave it blank. So I'm going to continue by leaving that spot completely bare and getting the same answer in the end. Now this is especially important that you keep your columns straight if you are to use this method. You are free to choose either method for solving these two-digit multiplication problems. My personal preference is to do the first one where you include the 0, because sometimes when we write, our lines are not completely straight, and when that happens, it can mess up the answer we get. So I like to have my 0 in there just to be safe. Let's do one more together. 31 times 23. All right, first I'm going to multiply together 31 times 3. Now I know right away that that is 93. But if I wanted to go step by step, I could say 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. Then I'm going to do 2 times 31, which is 62. And I'm going to remember that it's not just 62, it's actually 620, since this 2 is in the tens place. Then I'm going to add them together. My answer is 713. All right, I'm going to put 4 problems on this page. I want you to pause, try to solve them, and then check your answer by pressing play. All right, let's solve. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 4 is 8. I'm just going to add my 0 right away. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. 516. Let's try this one. Always starting with our digit in the ones place. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. Add my 0. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. Add them together. 416. Moving down here. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. Add my 0. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 308. Lastly, lots of 3's here. How'd you do? All right, before you get started on your own, I want you to remember the following 3 things about this important skill. Number 1, you must line up your numbers in very neat vertical columns. It will be essential to making sure that you get the right answer. Number 2, don't forget to include the 0 or the space when multiplying in the tens place. Your second row of your product should have that space right underneath that ones place. Number 3, at first you must take your time with these. If you need to circle, if you need to repeat, go ahead and do it. The most important thing is that you get down the steps to solving this, and you will get faster as you go.